Hello, I'm Miss Megan from Cooper-Siegel Community Library, and this week's activity for DIY STEAM is a light up bug. And it has a switch, so you can turn it on and off. Let's find out how to do it.
Okay, when you open up your kit, you should have what you see here. You have your LED light and your battery. Do please be careful with these, that pets and small children are not anywhere where they can get to the battery. We do not want anyone to put the battery in their mouth or swallow it. You should have your copper tape and your pipe cleaners, some pom-poms, and 4 different pieces of craft stick. If you did the magic wand light up activity, this is going to feel really familiar to you and very similar. If you haven't, this is a pretty friendly circuit to make, so just follow along and we should be okay. The first thing you're going to want to do is you are going to want to take your copper tape and measure it on one of the long craft sticks. So we'll go all the way on the long end and then cut it. Oh, before you start, make sure you have some glue, some tape, and scissors as well. Once you have your copper tape cut to the right length, you are going to carefully peel off the backing. The copper tape likes to wrap around itself, so I recommend only pulling a little bit of the back off and then start to place it on the craft stick and then start pulling it just to make it a little bit easier when it starts to wrap itself around. Okay, so your first piece should look like that. The next piece, you're gonna wrap it around this way, kind of like a rubber band or a Band-Aid. So again, cut yourself a length that looks like it'll go all the way around that craft stick. Peel just a little bit of that backing off. And then there's my first piece. I've got a little bit left over here, so I'm gonna start working on my next wrapping around here. When you're using more than one piece, just make sure that there aren't any gaps in your copper tape. Your copper tape is what is making your circuit, so you want it to be connected. So this is where the one piece ends, so I'm just gonna cover up a little bit, do some overlapping there and do some overlapping on this other part so that I have a full circuit there. Okay, this is what is gonna work for your switch. So we've created a gap, and then we're going to put piece of copper tape here, piece of copper tape here, and then your switch is going to complete the circuit by connecting that gap. And then that is what is going to turn your LED light on. So I'm gonna measure how much I need for here. And I'm gonna place that on. Okay, and then that is what your second piece looks like. This piece you are going to put no copper tape on. It is your piece that acts as an insulator. And then this piece, you're going to put a little piece right there, and it's going to be the piece that connects everything up. And that's all set to be your switch. Go ahead and open up your battery. And take your LED light, and you are going to want to test to make sure that your LED light works. So you're going to put the two sides of the LED light on the battery. It is not working. That usually means that I have gotten my negative and positive sides confused on my LED. So I'm just going to flip my LED. And up, yep, there I go. So I'm all set. I know that my battery and my LED work. And then as we're putting it together, we're just going to test it out a couple of times just to make sure that it's still working. So for your LED, you are going to want to bend the two wires, kind of like that, to make it easier to put the two wires onto your copper tape. So you're going to cover the LED wire with some copper tape and have it connect up with this piece of copper tape right here. Okay. And there we go. Now I'm going to take this side. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, and then you are all set to take your battery and your LED and start to put your light up bug together. So the first thing you want to do is test your LED and your battery and see if your LED works. Mine is definitely not lighting up. What that usually means is that I have my positive and negatives backwards. So I'm going to flip it over. Oh, yep, there we go. Now it works. Okay. Now I am going to take this top flat piece and I'm going to bend the wires of my LED a little bit to make it easier to tape one of the wires onto the copper tape on the craft stick. Okay, and then I'm going to take the flat end here and I'm going to do the same thing. It's going to look a little bit like an LED wire sandwich. And it might be helpful to have another person's pair of hands to do this. Sometimes it does get tricky to put those pieces together. Okay, there we go. So it looks like that. And now I'm going to put my insulating piece in the middle here. And I'm going to add my battery down at the bottom here. And I'm going to test out that all of this comes together properly. Oh, nothing's happening. Hopefully all that means is that I need to flip my battery. Oh, there we go. Okay. And now that I know that it's all working, I'm going to start taping things up. I'm going to start by taping my insulating piece in the center so that it stops falling out. Okay. And now I'm going to add another piece of tape down here to keep the battery in. There we go. And then my last piece is my switch. So I am only going to tape the top part of this so that it works like a switch. So I'm just going to tape the top part so that you get a little bit of a gap there. And then when I press down, I have my light. Okay, so you now have your light. You can decide whether you would like this to be the front of your bug or the back of your bug. And then you can create the rest of your bug however you want from there. I do recommend that the switch is on the bottom of your bug, just to make it less likely that the other pieces that you add to decorate your bug aren't going to push down too much on your switch. And then just pay attention as you are adding pieces. Here's my finished bug. Pay attention as you're adding pieces that you're not pushing down so much on your switch that your switch stops being a switch and instead becomes a permanently on light. So just pay attention to that. And then you can decorate your bug and you are all set to go buzzing along with your light up bug.
I hope your bugs turn out really cool. As you're building your bugs, think about what different types of bugs you know of. Think about whether you want to have your bug have 6 legs like an insect or 8 legs like a spider, and whether you want them to be able to fly or crawl or build a web, what interesting things your bug can do. If you're looking for some inspiration, this book is called Busy Builders by Roxy Monroe, and it has all sorts of interesting ways that insects and other bugs like spiders build things. Like this garden orb spider, which builds these gorgeous webs. I hope you check it out, and I hope you have fun this week with your Light Up Bug project. See you next time.